Fellow delegates, Mr. Chairman, have you ever felt that you could have an impact on the world? I've come to the conclusion that we can all have an impact on the world. We get a lot of satisfaction if we help someone improve their life. And if you do that, you have the opportunity to make an impact on the world. There's a quote that I like that made me realize that I and everyone else I know could have an impact on the world. It's from a fellow by the name of Forrest Whitcraft. Forrest was with the Boy Scout movement. And this is what Forrest Whitcraft said. Over 100 years from now, it will not matter what kind of car I drove, what kind of house I lived in, how much money is in my bank account, nor what my clothes look like. But the world may be a better place because I was important in the life of a child. Now that made me say, yes, it's possible to have an impact on the world, even if you impact one person. And that person doesn't have to be a child. It could be anyone. And that's what I'd like to discuss with you today. Why today it's probably more important than any time in history to have an impact on people. And secondly, how you can have an impact with a very simple method that I'll share with you. And what I'd like to talk about first is why it's important. And I just want to talk to you person to person. Life is changing. The world is changing. Just think how much we are being impacted. Things like climate change and technology. Everything in the world is changing. It's going to impact our environment, our economy, our business, our politics, our health, our workplace. Everything is changing, and we cannot avoid it. But that offers us an enormous amount of opportunity because there's a lot of challenges with all the changes that are coming. And that means there's opportunity for us to help solve some of those problems. Now, what I'd like to talk about is really three things that I've learned over time that I think help us impact the world. And those three things are leadership, diversity, and cooperation. Now, today's leaders aren't often effective. Some of them may be, but you find a lot of them are still want to take us back to the past. They say, oh, there's so much going on. I want to make America great again. Or I want to take United Kingdom out of the European Union. But that's short-term thinking. That doesn't take us into the future. That doesn't help us. And that is why I think we need to look at our leadership style and see how we can improve. And that takes me to the second point that I want to talk about is diversity. Now, I've worked for many years with young people. And one thing I've noticed when I work with young people is when I have different age groups, from 8 to 16 working together, or different cultures with different backgrounds, those groups have more dynamics and more success than those who are in their same age groups, in their same culture. And that makes me think that diversity is strength. And it's been proven that diversity is strength. And that's why I feel that often you will hear some of the leaders today will say, oh, these young people, we shouldn't listen to them. A great case is that young Swedish climate change girl, 16 years old, Greta Thunberg. And people are calling her panicked child, calling her all sorts of names, the guru of the apocalypse, all types of things. Saying, who does she think? She's only 16, what does she know? But what I'm suggesting is young and old should work together and solve the problems. Women and men should work together and solve problems. All cultures could work together and solve problems. Which brings me to the third point, cooperation. Many years ago when I worked on the gold mines in South Africa, I belonged to an association of mine managers. And this was a unique organization I subsequently found. What happened was we would get together and discuss the problems that we were faced, a very challenging environment, hard rock, underground mining, gold mining in South Africa, and we would share our solutions and discuss the problems. Yet we were all from competitive companies. So we were sharing all our ideas with competitors. And that gives me a great takeaway. Whenever you have problems, you want to share it with others, no matter if they work for competitive companies or they have different religious or political backgrounds. Find something in common that you have a problem and work on that together. Forget about all that other, just work on the problem and you will be amazed at the solutions. On the gold mines, we improved the efficiency of all the operations and all the companies and saved a lot of people's lives as well. So that's what I suggest we should look at is leadership, working with diverse people, cooperating. Okay, so now I've set the scene, but what can you and I do? What is it possible for us to do? Well, let's look at what leadership is. Leadership can be when you have a positive influence on somebody's life. And if you make a change for a positive effect, it's what leaders do, or good leaders do. And one of the definitions, there's lots of definitions about leaders, but one of my favorite definitions is from a motivational speaker and author, and he calls himself an optimist, Simon Sinek. And this is what Simon says a leader is. If you're, what's the word? If your actions inspire the person to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. And let's realize, everyone in this room can dream more, we can learn more, we can do more, and as a result, we can become more. And therefore, I suggest that everyone here can be a leader. And this is how I suggest you do it. You find one person, just one, and you share with them what your dreams are, and they share with you what you share with them, your dreams. And you meet on a regular basis. And I've been fortunate enough to do this over the years. I started with one person. That's all you need is one. But I do this now with a couple people. For example, I meet with a young lady who's just got a young child. She's starting to be a parent and she's starting a career. And we discuss these things on a regular basis. I also meet with an older lady who's about to retire from her government job. And she's planning her retirement. And in addition, I meet with an Asian gentleman who is balancing between the Asian culture and the North American culture. And when we meet, there's 3 words that are very effective that we use each time. And these words are well, better, and best. So we ask each other, since we last spoke, what went well? Secondly, what could we have done better? It didn't go as well as we think. Maybe we should work on that. And the third thing is, what was the best thing that happened since we last spoke? And when you do that, you are mentoring each other and you are helping improve each other's lives. And that is what a leader does. So I suggest to you a simple step, and you can do what Forrest Woodcraft suggested, because 100 years from now, it will not matter what car you drove, what kind of house you live in, how much money was in your bank account, or what your clothes look like. But the world may be a better place because you were important in someone's life.